Do you consider yourself an OG of Fortnite? When did you start playing? Was it 2017, 2018, 2019? I like to weigh your level of OG-ness by what Tilted Towers looked like when you started playing. Fortnite Chapter 1 was a different time in Fortnite, and I wanted to make a video to see how many people watching our videos are real, so here's a game we're gonna play for this video. You have to watch until number 1 and let me know how many of these you actually remember. No cheating. On to number 30, the Orange Shirt Kid. Back in Season 3, Epic announced the first ever Boogie Down contest, which allowed players to show their own dance moves for a chance to get their own emote. While many people were excited to see the new emote in-game, even more players were upset that a fan favorite, Orange Shirt Kid dance, didn't win the grand prize and get his dance added to the game. Remember this kid? Craziest part is that the community actually managed to get hashtag Justice for Orange Shirt Kid trending, and a few weeks later, boom, we have the Orange Justice emote added to the Season 4 Battle Pass. This essentially immortalizes the Orange Shirt Kid legacy. Number 29, Friday Fortnite. Before the World Cup and weekly cash cups, the competitive Fortnite scene was, well, entirely run by the community. While Epic focuses on stuff behind the scenes, the Fortnite community started crafting tournaments of their own, the most popular being Friday Fortnite hosted by Keemstar. Friday Fortnite was huge for the community and pulled massive numbers by having content creators, pro players, and even celebrities all compete against each other. During the peak of Friday Fortnite, they were even pulling over 10 million viewers a week, which is insane. Unfortunately, once Epic decided to dip their feet into the competitive scene, they forced Keemstar to shut down Friday Fortnite indefinitely. But with all the big names and celebrity attention, it would have been crazy to see how big this event could have gotten. Number 28, Rocket Riding. Some of the most magical moments in all of Fortnite happened within the first few seasons. But did you know that rocket riding was a bug found completely by accident? Not only was rocket riding one of Epic's happy accidents, but they even decided to keep it in game after seeing how much the community loved it. Rocket riding has since become a staple in the Fortnite community, even earning itself its own Rocket Rodeo emote. Number 27, the Mako Glider. One of the first, rarest gliders to be introduced was, of course, the Mako Glider, an exclusive reward back in Season 1 for hitting level 25. This was one of the first ever rare items in the game, and it's only been featured one time by accident since its release. The item shop featured this glider for one day only over 2 years ago, which means very few players were able to get it. The exclusiveness of this glider alone makes it one of, if not the rarest items in all of Fortnite. Number 26, the Meteor event. Nowadays, live events have pretty much become tradition in Fortnite. All the way back in Season 3 though, Epic put on a show with their first ever live event, the rocket launch. Shortly after the launch, players spotted a meteor way up in the sky heading straight towards the island. As the impact drew closer, comets began falling to the map and destroying everything in their path, including players. This was an incredible build-up to the end of a season with the meteor striking the island to start Season 4 off with a literal bang. It was the first time we were really introduced to a serious storyline and some fresh POIs. Ah man, it really brings back that nostalgia. Number 25, the first concert in Fortnite. In February 2019, 10.7 million people dropped in to experience the first ever live concert in Fortnite, breaking the world record of the most viewed concert in history. Not only did Marshmello perform his songs, but he also had a direct line with his voice going to all players in game, which made for a truly amazing experience. To top it all off, they even released a Marshmello themed set in the item shop as well. This event definitely holds a special place in a lot of our hearts and is easily one of my favorite times in Fortnite. Taking us back to Season 6 for our number 24 spot, players who were lucky enough to get the risky reels quickly would see Wreckit Ralph dash across the screen and wave to players before continuing on his way. Some leak files showed that we were supposed to get a Wreckit Ralph LTM to go along with this crossover, but unfortunately all we got was this small, terrible cameo. Number 23, the Season Shop. Did you know that the item shop wasn't always in Fortnite? Well, in the very early days of Battle Royale, Epic had the Season Shop instead. While the item shop resets daily and allows any and all players to buy cosmetics for money, use code T5G by the way, the Season Shop required the player to be a certain level before they could purchase something from the store. Overall a great change, but not gonna lie, it was kinda cool to grind for a certain skin before being able to buy it. I mean hey, at least we have challenges for skins like Deadpool, so I think we kinda came out on top here. Number 22, the Eye of the Storm backpack. At some point during Season 4, Epic seemed to have a bunch of plans for a new backpack item in Fortnite. Literally minutes before the jetpack was released, the Eye of the Storm tracker was added accidentally to chests. It was an item which, as you could tell by the name, allowed players to know where the next storm circle would be, kinda like Pathfinder from Apex Legends. The reason that most of you probably won't even recognize this thing is because it was removed from the game, like I said, 30 minutes after it was added. Epic says that they never intended for this to release, and later on we pretty much received the same thing in weapon form, the Storm Tracker Sniper. Number 21. Over the years, we've seen Fortnite crossovers with a wide variety of shows, movies, and games, but how many of you remember the first ever Fortnite crossover event? Fortnite Avengers was a massive event that brought gaming and pop culture together in a way that no one has seen before. From leaping across the map as Thanos to knocking your enemies with Captain America's shield, this event was just a ton of fun for everyone who got to experience it. Number 20. The first skin in the item shop. When Fortnite transitioned from the season shop to the item shop that we all know and love, the very first skins to be added were actually the Gold Trooper and the Skull Trooper. Okay, well maybe the Renegade Raider too, but who even cares about that skin, am I right? So even though these items have since been re-released with extra style options, they were at one point extremely rare and only the true OG players had them. So if you got these extremely rare styles, consider yourself a real Fortnite OG. Number 19. The shopping cart. In the early days of Fortnite, Epic did not want to add vehicles to the game for some reason, but randomly one day in Season 4, shopping carts became usable around the map. Although they didn't have a lot of practical uses, they led to some of the funniest moments, especially when it glitched out and would send players flying across the map. Good times. Number 18. The disappearing teddy bear. We all know that Epic loves storytelling by using the environments found throughout their map, whether it be the Stone family or the evil teddy bears and gnome situation we have going on in Chapter 2. There's always new secrets to find inside of Fortnite. In the early days, however, players would often find a big teddy bear hidden somewhere around the map. The only problem with this is that after looking at it for a couple seconds, it would just disappear. While this might seem like a bug, I'm pretty sure that this guy is what started the evil teddy bears that we know today. Number 17. The Drake and Ninja stream. During Fortnite's peak popularity, literally everyone was playing it. This included even huge celebrities like Drake. In case you somehow forgot, at one point during Chapter 1, Ninja and Drake teamed up to play a few Fortnite games and, well, they broke the internet. Ninja broke the solo viewer record for Twitch, and this was a monumental moment for gaming that took the internet by storm.
I never thought I would say this, but Drake, I have a slurp for you.
Fortnite was already one of the biggest games out at the time, but this collaboration really opened it up to so many more people. Number 16. The double pump. The double pump was so overpowered because you could continuously cycle pump shotguns and fire ridiculous amounts of damage. These pumps would shred players from close to long range, breaking builds, and had almost no counter in the early days. Fortunately, double pump has been completely removed from the game, and my controller can't thank you enough for that, Epic. Okay, but seriously though, don't think it could have handled being thrown much more. Number 15. Exclusive China skins. Due to China being super strict with video games, the Fortnite item shop, well, doesn't even exist there. Luckily, Epic realized that this wasn't a great feeling for the Chinese player base, so they went out of their way to give all the players in their region their own exclusive back bling, the penguin and shield. To this day, people outside of China are going to extreme lengths to get this back bling, and it's considered to be one of the rarest items in Fortnite. Number 14. OG factories. Now, everybody's got their favorite landing spots from each map, but if there's one that almost everybody misses, it's definitely the OG factories. The community begged to have these brought back, and after 6 long seasons, Epic finally re-added them for Season 10. This quickly became everyone's go-to spot until Epic removed them again after only 1 season. F in the chat for the OG factories, boys. Number 13. The World Cup. The Fortnite World Cup will go down in history as one of the most important esports events of history. With the total prize pool for the World Cup at $30 million, it was easily one of the biggest, if not the biggest prize pool for any single esports tournament to date. You can't even begin to imagine the impact that the World Cup has had on Booga's life, who's the winner, after he took home almost $3 million in prize money. I mean, Fortnite really be out here blessing people. Number 12. The Turbo Build Update. If you're an OG Fortnite player, then you surely remember the days before everyone could just build the entire freaking Empire State Building in 2 seconds flat after you take a shot at them. But back in the early days, people built, well, a lot less, and almost everyone just ramped at one another in a hilarious fashion. When Turbo Build was added though, that's when everything changed. Fortnite would never be the same, and from that day on, a towel would be required at pretty much every session for the amount of sweat that was created from this update. Number 11. Music blocks. With constant updates to Playground and Creative, people started doing all sorts of things from custom minigames to trick-shotting maps, but there was a time when Creative was much more simpler and most people who played it shared a common goal. One of the very first creative trends was to take the piano and music blocks and recreate popular songs with them inside of Fortnite. It led to so many amazing moments and opened up the game to a new player base that would transform creative mode into what it is today. Number 10, the first Tier 100 skin. So we've already talked about the Ghoul and Skull Troopers and Mako or whatever, but what about Black Knight? This sought-after skin was actually the very first Tier 100 skin in Fortnite history. Players who earn this one are absolutely allowed to call themselves OG. Number 9, the Unvaulting event. In Season 9, Epic decided to take their season finale event to the next level by allowing millions of players to choose an old gun to unvault. As you know, in the end, the majority of player base chose to unvault the drum gun, which would only later go on to be vaulted once more before finally returning yet again in Chapter 2 Season 2 as Midas's drum gun. I would really love to see Epic do something like this again, as we can't be the only one who wants to see bouncers return, right? Number 8, the Infinity Blade. Oh boy, the Infinity Blade. This thing is quite possibly the most broken item they have ever added to Fortnite. It could farm materials insanely fast, would heal you if you took damage, and if you were lucky enough to get it, it pretty much just meant a free win. On top of all this, Epic added it the night before a major tournament, and as you can imagine, it resulted in, well, absolute chaos. Number 7, Tilted Towers. Tilted Towers was and always will be the definition of a love-hate relationship. With some of the best clips coming from Tilted and some of the funniest rages, why did we ever ask for this place to be blown up so many freaking times? Well, Fortnite teased us with it being removed, then brought back, then removed again, and we never really thought that it would actually happen, but I guess you don't realize how much you love something till it's gone. Number 6, the old guided missile. As cool as it was, I think we could all agree that the guided missile used to be stupidly overpowered. I have an idea, let's add a rocket launcher, but 200 IQ play, let's make it so you could remote control from inside a metal box and team wipe an entire squad across the map. Definitely sounds balanced. Okay, all jokes aside though, this thing was seriously a meme. Epic did try to nerf it, but ended up making it even glitchier, so we're just happy that it's out of the game and only in creative. Number 5, the X7 Stormwing. Season 7 was a bit of a bumpy ride, but we could give thanks to the plane for that. For some reason, adding an unstoppable mythic Infinity Blade wasn't enough, so instead they added a plane with unlimited fuel, the ability to shoot and smash through builds, one-shot players, and the ability to redeploy safely if destroyed. Wow, that was one breath. Saying that out loud sounds scary. This lasted for weeks before Epic finally made adjustments, but by that time the player base was so frustrated, Epic decided to remove it altogether. They did later reintroduce planes into the Air Royale LTM, which is probably where they belonged all along. Number 4, Tomato Town. I think we should all take a moment to appreciate Tomato Town. I mean, sure, it didn't always have the best loot, even when it was turned into Tomato Temple, but it was always an OG landing spot back in the early days. Here's to hoping Uncle Pete's got a new pizza shop up and running somewhere in Chapter 2. I mean, who knows, maybe we'll see him in Season 3. Number 3, the Volcano Clickbait. In Season 8, practically everyone was clickbaiting a volcano event that had no evidence whatsoever or leaks at all. They even went as far to say that it would destroy all of Tilted Towers. I mean, come on, totally BS, didn't happen, right? Like, usually all these theories and clickbait are usually super far from the truth, but this one actually turned out to be true. Just when everyone thought the clickbaiters would get that sweet justice, the cards ended up going in their favor and making for a pretty funny little moment of history. Number 2, the introduction of Arena. When Arena first got added into the game, it changed how we played Fortnite forever. Finally, pro players could actually compete with each other and undiscovered pros could finally prove themselves. Arena also added the addition of Siphon to the game, which granted players materials and health on elimination, along with increased farming rates. My opinion, it was an overall golden time for Fortnite where the community was genuinely just loving the game. But finally, number 1, the Zapper Tron. Okay, you know if a weapon gets vaulted instead of nerfed during its first 2 weeks, that it must have been absurdly broken. That's the case for the Zapper Tron during the first few days of Fortnite's release. The Zapper Tron was an electric sniper rifle that could pretty much one-shot players from any range with precision. Epic has since stated that it just doesn't fit into the design of Battle Royale, but if you watched our April Fool's video, you'd know that it's coming back soon, or probably never because it was an April Fool's video, but yeah, that last one sounds about right. But click on screen right now to check out this super secret video, I promise, very secret. This is Tommy, keep it here, Top 5 Gaming.